My name is Coach Doyle, Cully Doyle. I'm currently at Brock High School. I am now the past president of Texas Girls Coaches Association, and I wanted to welcome you guys to the 2025 state preview show for Texas Girls Coaches Association. And lots of people are going to be watching this across the state, and it's always kind of funny. I always have people call me and be like, man, it was good that thanks for giving us a shout out or whatnot. So there are so many people out there. Inevitably, we're going to forget somebody, and I hate that. There's so many good athletes in this sport, and it's hard to recognize each individual. But I can tell you, there's good programs, and each one of you guys on here. I'm gonna throw Chelsey. I'm gonna let her start, just because she's been on here once before with me, but I'm gonna let her start, and I'm gonna say something just because she's in our district and area and regionals, obviously. Um, Man, I can tell you what, they have a good thing going. She's got a good thing going. She's good with her kids, just out and about at the track meets. But I will tell you this: she's got some good athletes, some really good kids that I've gotten to know and respect a whole lot. And man, you've done a great job from cross country season, all the way to now, and had a great regional meet. Um, I tell you what, it's always, Ray Baca deserves a shout out out there at Kenyon. He does a heck of a job. I mean, how good is that 800 runner miler? And what I don't shoot, how good is that mile relay they got? But at the same time, you gave them a run for their money, and you won the regional championship out there, and you did a good job. So, anyways, proud of you. But tell us about your kids and anybody else you want to talk about.
Thank you. Like you said, Coach Baca does a tremendous job out at Canyon. I think, we kind of went into this season. Our goals was to win district, win area, and then try to win the regional championship. But we knew it wouldn't be easy. Region one is loaded. But yeah, the girls, they kind of bought into it early on. I think we had some success early on in our meets, and I think they saw what they were capable of doing. And I couldn't be more proud of how they competed the other day at that regional meet. We did everything that we needed to. We knew it wasn't going to be easy by any means, but they were able to take care of business, and I couldn't be more proud of how they competed and what they were able to do. So it was a lot of fun, that's for sure. But like you said, I mean, you have Addison Bristow from Canyon. Watching her run it's amazing to see what she's able to do in the 800 the mile, and then them breaking the meet record in the 4x4 was crazy. So definitely got to give a shout out to them. I think the Brooke French from Canyon Randall. I'm sure everyone kind of kept up with what she was doing. They won a state championship in soccer, and then she got back to run the mile that evening, and then she's getting to go to state in both of her races. So you can't leave her out. We have some really impressive kids in Region One, which we do in the whole state. But it's fun to get to compete against them. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, I was watching, Addison when I got there early that morning, and uh, I watched her. She was out there warming up. She did more miles than everybody that whole day just in her warm up. So she's very impressive, very attention to detail, and that's a great kid that deserves a shout out. But
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. But you've done a great job, and you got a chance to. I don't want to jinx it, and I know Ray Baca wants to try to go win that thing too, and so does a lot of other people. But I will tell you that you got a great shot, and we wish you the best. So,
Thank
uh,
you very much.
all right, I'm gonna jump over to Josh out there in Eula, and I'll tell you, I think the world of Josh, and I've thought a lot of him for a long time, even though, just kind of growing up and watching coaches coach, and he's done a great job. Not just one sport, but multiple sports. But I also think it's something he does a good job relationships wise with kids, and he gets the most out of them over there. And man, Josh, you always do a good job. So I'm really glad you were able to get on here and showcase those kids of yours.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, our track season's been really kind of short. I think our kids, Coach Smith, kind of handles most of our track, especially our sprinters and our relays, and he's done a great job. But these kids have, they won the region in cross country, then they won the region in basketball, and they ended up winning the region in track, and they're still playing softball. So mainly just a really special group of kids, and it's not all the same kids, but we've got 2 or 3 that are intertwined through all of them. So we ran in one meet before our district meet, and so with all of our kids, so it's been really quick. But they've worked real hard. And our region this year, with realignment, we got Gordon came in with us, Jayton dropped down with us, and Water Valley dropped from 2A to 1A. So our region was really tough, like Region 2 always is in Class A. But proud of the kids. We were able to get Reagan Barr out, a triple jumper. Cameron Gray, a freshman, is running the 2 mile, and then our 4 relay girls got out in the 800 and the mile. So we're sitting second in both of those. Hoping that we'll be in the mix in those. I don't think, if you look at it, don't think we have the points to win a state meet, but we're trying to, hopefully get in the top 3, hopefully, team wise is kind of our goal going in. And then some other things, just looking at the 1A state meet, that I'm looking forward to watching is the Jayton and Roby both have just tremendous distance kids on the girls' side that we'll be watching to see. And then you throw them in there with McMullen County. Jayton and Roby are both in our district, but you throw them in with the McMullen County girls. And so I really think those that 2 mile and that 1 mile will be really fun to watch with some other kids. And then the relays, us and Gordon, we'd beat their mile relay at the district and area level, and then they beat us at regionals by a couple of seconds. So it should be a fun and competitive meet.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Y'all had a good year so far. I wish y'all the best this whole week, I guess, preparing for this next weekend. So yeah, proud of you over there. Y'all do a great job. All right, I'm going to jump to Brook over in Bandera, Texas. I go a long ways back with Brook. I think the world of her. She's not only just a good coach, but she don't like me saying it, but she was a great athlete too back in the day. And I will tell you this, I always support her, love her to death, and want to see her be successful. So I'm super proud of her. And but anyways, Brooke, go ahead.
I'm excited. This is my first time having a relay at the state meet. I'm bringing a senior and then 3 sophomores. 2 of the girls actually I had to replace. I had 2 seniors that decided not to come out, and my back was kind of against the wall, and I really started coaching up some of the younger ones and tried to put them in tough situations and tough meets. So with the hopes of us being at the state meet and they would be ready to compete at this level. So
yeah, no, it's going to be fun watching. Well, you and Brownwood, y'all going to go head to head this weekend. That's going to be good because I know both of y'all's, but both of y'all have some good runners fixing to go head to head. It's going to be fun. So proud of you. All right, I'm going to jump to Kimberly Williams over there at Roby. I don't know if y'all kept up with Roby, but they've had a lot of success recently, really over the last few years. So Kimberly, if you can hear me, you got the floor.
Yeah, just kind of piggybacking off of what Coach Fostel was saying about kind of Region 1. I mean, we hit Eula at the beginning of area and Jayton at region, and we've kind of fostered on our distance kids a lot. I have one more field event girl that's silver medalist the last 2 years that's in a good position to, I'm not going to jinx or anything, but she's in a good position to medal. Distance wise, like we were talking about, like Region 1, when you go through and you add Eula, his 32 and mile kid, and then you add Jayton to it, and then going to state, McMullen County, which they're coming off of cross country. I mean, that little girl Billingsley is phenomenal. So it's going to be an interesting feat to watch the 32 mile and 8 with them. But I guess experience now is kind of what it's going to boil down to for sure with them. I think it's going to be a fun one though.
How many kids you got returning from when y'all won it all?
So we call them the original 6. Last year we had 5 of the 6, and this year I have those 2 left. Just Lily Benson, which is my 32 8-mile kid, and then Callie Hernandez, which will be my thrower coming in. Yeah. So just 2 left.
Yeah. Hey, but that leadership there, being there doing that is important. That
Oh,
is
for sure.
important. So yeah, no, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. All right, I'm gonna go down to Coach Crain over at Christoval and tell us about your kids over there.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, we're down in Christoval, traveled up to Canyon for regionals, had some rough weather. It's amazing to see these kids compete though in those circumstances. You know, it really shows the true grit of these athletes. Um, our girls competed well. We got one girl out in pole vault. She actually made it to regionals her freshman year, didn't make it out her sophomore year. And so she really started putting in the work. She has worked incredibly hard to get to where she is. She, I think, went up about 2 feet this year, is what she improved on. So, super proud of her. Like I said, she's just worked hard. And it'll be her first time at state, and my first time as a coach. So it's exciting, and we're ready to get there and see what she does. And as a region, I mean, there's some fast girls in our region, and so they should compete really well at the state meet. And I know all the relays are fast, the individual events, so we should have a good showing up there for our region 2A.
Yeah, I think so too. Y'all have done a good job over there, and it's gonna be fun. And you guys know this. I'm gonna bounce back. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna give y'all a heads up on what I'm gonna ask y'all. And I always ask this. I think it's good. We got some on here. We got some veteran coaches on here, and we got some, every year, especially we got some small school, kids traveling to the state meet that's gone from sport to sport to sport, and I always respect those kids. And then obviously, with Brook and Chelsey being on here, they all, they share athletes as well, but it's different than, there's a difference between some of their kids versus some of, your 1A kids or whatnot. Like Josh was saying, I mean, of course, with the UIL bouncing it back, I think that's a huge blessing. Of course, that's my opinion. I think it's the majority's opinion, and it should help Josh and all those people moving forward. But I will tell you this, you want to be playing basketball late if you're a small school, but then having the UIL do what they did and help us out as track coaches, that's going to be a big benefit. So with that said, I'm going to ask, how do you think that'll benefit? How do you think that'll benefit some of your kids mentally? Because obviously physically that's going to be an obvious, I think. But how do you think that's going to benefit? I think it'll benefit weather too. Sometimes, seems like we always deal with weather for some reason at the regional meet, like she was talking about up at Canyon. We were the same way in Lubbock. I mean, it was pretty decent for the most part the first day, and then the second day is like, oh man, you just don't know what to expect. Just total 360 on the second day, and but the kids showed up and competed, and but I want to ask you what you think about the UIL making that decision, which obviously you already know how I feel about it. I think it's great. I think it's great for all levels, but I think it's great for the sport of track and field in general. And then also, give us an insight on what you think, if somebody's watching this, which they're going to be, always get those questions, what are you preparing this week? Are you doing something different? Are you staying the same? You have any words of wisdom for any coach out there? If you'll share that with them, we're here to help coaches across the state, and I think that's important. I enjoy doing that. So I'm going to go back to Chelsey and let her start that, and kind of let us know what your thoughts on that is.
Yeah, I think it's I agree with you completely. I think, we have, I guess, 2 of my 8 that are going, 2 of them on the mile relay are soccer girls. 4 of the 8 that are going are basketball girls. And they both those programs went to the playoffs this year. So I think those kids that are multi-sport athletes is going to benefit huge. You have the ones that are just the tracksters that are able to kind of start when we get back from Christmas break, but those kids that are doing other sports, I think it's going to be huge for them just to give them a little bit of time to get in shape. And then, like you said, the weather. I mean, we start mid-February with meets, and you never know how cold it's going to be and things like that. So when I saw that, I was super excited to see that for next year. I think that's going to be beneficial for everybody. And then in terms of kind of what we're doing this week, we're trying to, not change too much, but obviously we've backed off some, just trying to keep them fresh and fast and feel good and ready to go compete on Thursday. But I'm trying to keep somewhat of a similar routine that we've had, just to try to keep them and feel confident and ready to go is kind of the plan for us. I
All
think
right.
that was there anything else? I think that's
Yeah,
what you
I'm
asked.
gonna ask you one more question, and
Okay.
then all right. So, what's your plans going into the state meet on where y'all are gonna go eat and all that stuff? We got a lot of young coaches out there trying to figure out, you know, when to leave their hotel, when to get there. You know, uh, parking's always crazy. It's fun when
Yeah.
you get there, but parking's crazy. It's
Oh,
not like Eula,
absolutely.
Texas, where you can park anywhere. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So we're actually going to go up Wednesday. They're doing like a send off for the girls through the high school, and then we're going to go to one of our elementaries here in town that morning. And since we can't work handoffs at the track when we get there, we're going to work handoffs here before we leave, and then head out to Austin. So it's just about a 2-hour drive for us, so not too bad. We actually haven't decided where we're eating yet that evening, so I still got to talk to the girls tomorrow about that and figure it out. I probably should have made reservations already because I know things are going to be crazy. But then that next morning, we have Hannah high jumping at 9, and then Kaya long jumps, I think, at 10:45. So we'll get them up and over there that morning, then try to leave the girls that are running in the hotel so they don't have to be out. I think it's supposed to be like 91 that day. So I'm sure it's going to be hot and humid. So get them over there to do handoffs, and then hopefully be ready to go and see what we can do.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Josh, same questions to you.
Yeah, as far as the bumping track back to more where it used to be, definitely in favor of that. Like I told you this year, yeah, playing late in basketball and then spring break and softball tournaments. Like we ran our first track meet on March 27th, and then our district was on March 31st, 4 days later. So it'll be nice to just, actually be able to hopefully run in 2 or 3 meets with our relays and just have a little bit more time to prepare for district. So I'm definitely in favor of that, and we're also trying to work around every other, golf and tennis and all that stuff too. So it'll be nice to bump track a little bit back, and then kind of letting Coach Smith. This is his first time kind of leading our track program, get a plan together. But I'm trying to help him a little bit with plans for travel and stuff. But we've got one of our relay girls is at state golf Monday and Tuesday. We have a softball series that we play 2 games on Thursday, so we're hoping we end it there so they can all leave together on Friday. If not, we have to wait for a softball game to get over on Friday, send half of them down before and half of them after. So our plans are kind of pending on that. And then as far as workouts, when we see them with my distance girl, I'll have her every day. So we treat this a lot like the days leading up to state cross country, and we're really kind of paring it down a little bit. We'll go pretty hard on Monday and then start backing off a lot. And then with our other kids, it's just about trying to get them all 4 together, which will be a challenge, and just kind of working our handoffs and stuff like that. So that's our plans right now. Hopefully we can all leave together on Friday afternoon and get down there and get ready. And then we have a triple jumper in the morning and a 2-miler in the morning. So something it's good hearing other coaches. We were talking about, do we leave the girls back at the hotel or not? So that's something we're still kind of trying to figure out, because I definitely don't want them there all day and then not running until 6:30 or whenever we start Saturday night.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Brook, you're next.
All right. Even though we're a 4A school, we actually are a smaller 4A school. So a majority of my kids are in other sports, basketball, soccer, and softball. I think only 2 of them are not. All the rest are in other things, which we encourage at our district and at our school. So I'm excited about the state meet getting pushed back. I think that allows us a little more time, especially with possible bad weather. In regards to advice to other coaches, something that I tell my kids, I have 1 senior and all the rest are young kids, is to not take anything for granted, to not forget to take it all in with their teammates and take that moment in. As an athlete, I was there with my relay team, and I remember what it was and what it felt like. And I want them to be able to take all that in and not take that for granted. The other aspect for me, the physical part is the physical part. We've all put all that in. So this week will be routine for us. But the part that I really am big on, and my kids know this, and my assistant coaches know this, is the mental aspect. I'm a big believer in coaching the mental part for athletes. And I think sometimes those things are taken for granted. Everybody focuses on the physical part, but I think the mental part is just as huge. In regards to eating and all of those things, my kids are very particular. So I have a plan for what they'll each eat for lunch. And then dinner, I actually normally order food and bring it to the hotel, and we eat as a team that way. So that way we're not sitting in a restaurant waiting for several hours. We can be together, enjoy each other's company, eat, and then have our team meeting and get ready for the meet. So.
Awesome. Yep. Awesome. All right, Kimberly.
I honestly think it's great. I mean, for the athlete, I think for the coaches, sometimes I don't think you ever really feel prepared for the transition, especially when you go through multi-sport kids and having that extra time. Sometimes it's too much time and you think too much about what relay or, add or dropping a kid. But I think just preparing for the athlete, I think it is a good idea. As far as leading up to the state meet, we are actually very, very routine. I think we stop at the same places for a shakeout. We go to the same restaurants. We stay at the same hotels. So with the two that are still there, they already have that mental mindset of kind of what to prepare, what they need to go, bathroom breaks. I mean, everything. So I think it'll be a good one for them, though.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. All right, Coach Crain.
Yeah, I think it'll also be good. Pushing the meet back, give us a little more time to prepare. I do think those straight track athletes are going to be pretty eager to get into it. So they'll be ready for the season to start, but it'll be nice to give those coming out of another sport time. Yeah, we just have the one pole vault girl, so it's just keeping her. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat of keeping her mentally ready, not overthinking. There's so much technique in that event, and just to enjoy it and have fun is what I tell her, and do what she's trained to do all season. Not try to change up anything at this point. And I guess we still got some things to figure out for what we're gonna do, where we'll eat, but we'll have a smaller group, so
Yeah.
it'll be easy, I guess.
No,
I am nervous about the traffic though.
Yeah. No, it's all gonna work out. It's gonna be good. Hey, all right, I got one more question for everybody, and then we'll kind of shut it down. But I'm gonna ask you guys if y'all do me a favor. Couple things. Number one, I want you to think about one person, one coach, one program that you think that deserves a shout out, whether it's in your region, whether it's in your area, whether it's in your own district, whether it's somebody that's not even in your region but you respect a lot, that deserves a shout out. Because I know I have a hard time, I struggle with this because there's always somebody inevitably. I look back thinking, man, we should have said, we should have mentioned that one coach, or we should have mentioned that that particular kid. I know I personally mentioned Ray Baca because I was, saw them this week, this past weekend, and Chelsey and competing, and watched that 800 girl. Obviously, she deserves a shout out. No, there is no doubt about that. But there's that one kid out there somewhere that deserves a shout out, or coach or program. And I'm going to ask you guys if you'll shout out to them. This is going to eventually get back to them, and I think that's respect. And like I said, we're here to help coaches across the state. And I mean, I can tell you, anybody that knows me, I love helping kids, and I love seeing, they might not all wear a Brock uniform. I wish some of them did, because there's a lot out there I'd love to have, but I can tell you, man, it's fun to watch kids that are competing at a high level, because the work they put in. And I just respect the heck out of that, and respect the coaches that put in that work, and respect all you guys, obviously. So if you'll do that, we'll close it out. And then while y'all are thinking about that, I hope all y'all are on the medal stand. I hope every single one of y'all are on the medal stand, and I don't have to ask you to come up there, because you'll be kind of forced to come up there because your athlete's going to be up there. But if you're not, y'all come up there and shake the UIL's hand, but shake Sam Tipton's hand and Lee Grisham. Those guys do a whole lot behind the scenes for the Texas Girls Coaches Association. We'll be giving out lots of medals all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be up there as well. But come shake Sam's hand. He does a whole lot and cares a lot about coaches, cares a lot about kids. But anyways, Texas Girls Coach Association will be in charge of giving out medals and giving out rings and I know Kim, we've been fortunate enough to be able to give her a ring last few years, and I hope we can continue all that. So anyways, just want to touch on that, but I'm gonna start up there with Chelsey, and then we'll go from there.
Hey, I mean, I can't help but shout out you. I know that you're right here, but I think that was anytime we saw you, whether in cross country or track, you're always extremely nice and respectful to my kids, and they all have mentioned that multiple times. I thought that was really awesome the other day how your girls came and congratulate our girls after regionals and myself, and we kind of talked about on the bus just how that kind of goes to show that they follow your lead. So super thankful we have you in our district, and getting to kind of see how you coach and take care of your girls, and that's it's really special to see. Have to shout out Coach Butchie too at Stephenville. He does an awesome job, and same thing. They all came up and congratulated us as well. Then of course, Coach Baca too. I know we've already mentioned him, but just the job he does, you can't not mention him. And he's an amazing guy as well, and always says hi to you when he sees you. And so I think that's everybody I have for right now.
Awesome, thank you, Josh.
Yeah, I'll just stay in our region with Coach Reed at Gordon. He's kind of I'm not a track guru by any means, trying to handle everything else. So he's been really good to Coach Smith and myself for a long time. And then this year they're in our district, and so we're competing against them every week. And their girls will have a really good chance to win the state track meet. And just watching, his son and all the boys, their boys will probably have a really good chance too. But he just does a great job with them. I mean, he's the go-to guy in this area track wise, and he's just like a lot of the great ones, like Lombard. It doesn't matter how much he wins and stuff like that in all different sports. He's always willing to help us out, and it's fun to watch his kids just continue to get better week in, week out.
I agree with that. That's a good shout out. I respect him also a lot. All right, Brooke.
All right, I'm up. I want to recognize our entire district. Our district is very competitive. You will see somebody from our district in almost every single event, whether that being running events or field events, representing at the state meet. We always say if you can get out of our district, there's a strong likelihood you will be at the state meet. So I want to give a shout out to our district. I also want to give a shout out to Coach Aldridge and Coach Lambert, which both of them I have the utmost respect. There were several times, that Lacey would call me or I'd call her in regards to some things, and even some last minute changes before the regional meet. And so both of them have very well respected programs. So
I couldn't agree more with that as well. 100%. All right. Who do I have next? I had Kimberly next.
I'll give a shout out to Coach Watson at Rotan. I think he's done a great job with developing his sprint relay. Of course, they've 10 miles down the road. They've been our rivals since I can remember. They fell short quite a few years in the regional area, always had some decent numbers and kids going with the potential, but I think he got Talon Lewis out, what she got at a long jump, the 200, the relay, got the wild card. So, I mean, it's just a big turnaround and just kind of what those kids needed at the right time. So good luck to them.
Awesome. I agree. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Coach Crain.
I know there's quite a few good ones in our region. I'll probably go with Panhandle. They got some pretty impressive times in the relays and the 300 hurdle runner, and they seem like they have a pretty solid program, and they have some good athletes that seem like they work pretty hard.
No, I'm really glad you mentioned them because they deserve to be mentioned 100%. That is a great great program. 100% sure that they do a heck of a job. So, and again, there's lots of other ones out there, and we could be on here for 2 more hours talking about kids and coaches across the state that do a great job. But anyways, I wanted to thank you guys personally for everything you do for kids, and good luck to you guys. And I'm sure I'll see y'all this weekend. But if you need something, let us know. But come up there and see Sam and Lee and what Texas Girls Coach Association is doing at the medal stand. So thank you guys. Good luck to y'all.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Coach.
Thank you.